First, can you hear me in the back and make sure that this mic's okay? Okay, good. Well, first of all, I'd like to thank the Chamber, of course, for hosting this and many years that they've done this. And this being my first presentation from the Chamber, I appreciate it. I actually joined the Chamber in 1993 and with my company, Classic Industries, over on Broad Street, 905 East Broad Street, where Encore is now. So I've been an avid supporter of the Chamber for many years. We've allowed the Chamber to do their annual auction at our facility for many years. So some of you may have been there, but now you get the face if you don't know me behind the scenes of who we are and what we're doing. Classic Industries was a company that I founded here in Forney, Texas in '93, and our claim to fame, to give you a little background, some of you that don't know us, we're an architectural metals company. And we did programs such as Cinemark Theaters. Can you hear me now? Cinemark Theaters all over the country. We did 134 from Oregon to South Florida, Mexico City, up into Canada. So we're a national construction company, manufacturing company. We also, our biggest claim to fame was a Texaco program where Texaco was bought out by Shell Oil Company. And we did 14,000 conversions from Texaco to Shell all over the U.S. So when you see a yellow Shell canopy, that's Classic Industries. So give you a little brief behind us. And now, so to give you a brief on the city, the state of the city. We're going to start with the Parks and Recreation Department. This year, the city hosted the first annual Veterans Day, 2014, in the parks. We had about 800 attendance, and we hope that that's going to grow. We had great participation from it, so look forward to that in 2000. This schedule coming up for 15. We had, next on the parks item, we had actually 25,000 attendees for the Independence Day. And I don't know, I'm sure some of you were here because that's almost a 100% saturation on the effort. So it was great. Me and my grandkids, we had a great time at the park. It was a great show. The park, of course, if most of you have been out, is in great shape. Hats off to our park staff that just do a great job on keeping these parks in a pristine condition. And we're getting a lot of recognition from around the area with our parks. I have people come up to me all the time and say, wow, we can't believe these parks that we have. So hats off to the staff for that. Next up at the parks, we have one of the city's largest free deal is for a fall event for the Trails and Trees. Of course, that's our autumn event is coming up pretty soon, so we hope all of you participate in that too. Also, along with that, we have Christmas on Main that's coming up, and I believe that's December the 5th. So we'll see a lot of planning, a lot of things going on for that, and I know a lot of y'all are involved in that too. So just to keep you up current on that. And then, of course, we have the activities in the park where we have events and theaters, movies being shown. This year, I think we had 40 events in the park. So we appreciate everything that's been done out there. We also have the movies coming up, or 16 Candles, Pride and Prejudice, and Casablanca. So be sure and come out and enjoy those movies. Just have a great time with your family and events that go on in the park. Now that I've lulled you into kind of submission and got your popcorn and your movie all planned out, when you talk about finance and taxes. So don't go to sleep. Well, there's some good news. So the sales tax increase for fiscal year. The city had an increase of 10.21% over last year, which is phenomenal. I mean, that's a great testimony to our base that's climbing, and our businesses that are here, incentives that we see that we've done in the city, we're paying off. So that's a great thing. The next part of the taxes, of course, is we have the Kaufman County Appraisal District. We had a certified property tax that came in higher for the first time in 5 years. So that's a substantial thing for us. I mean, we're looking at the property base. It's not only the valuations are coming up, but the amount of construction and the things that are going on are giving our tax base a higher valuation. So that, the preliminary came at a 9.33. Is that better? Is the mic going in and out? Yeah. I'm sorry. That came in at preliminary at 9.33. That was an increase of 9.82 over last year. But with the tax increment financing district and tax abatements, the amount is an 8.67 increase for this fiscal year, which is great. It'll help with our tax base, and it'll help not only the city but the county, of course, and the school district, which we know we need some help with the school district in getting those valuations up. So but what I hid in all this, of course, try to hide it right in the middle of all this, the tax decrease. So I don't want to take any credit for that. I don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but I'm sure everyone would like to see that. And so we're going to receive a 2.5 cent reduction in property, in the city tax.
Awesome.
So we're pretty proud of that. And to remind you too, that came in the budget this year where we're actually, all the city workers, public works, fire, police, all got an increase in pay. We also were able to put together some program or some street improvements, road improvements, some other things that I'll talk about later in here too. So keep that in mind as we move on. One tool that I want to talk about that we have on the website now, we have a tool called My Tax Dollars Calculator. So if you go to the city website, you can go on there. It's a means to help with questions you may have, or ways to calculate your taxes, see your water, utility bills, things like that. And also, there's a portal that allows you to look at the city finances. So we're trying to streamline the finances for the city and give transparency to the city government at the same time. So if you have the opportunity to use that portal, please do. Next on the agenda is the community development. And what we have streamlined the process in the community development, which we're pushing forward to make that happen. Do you know that you can actually apply for permits online now? So this is something we're excited about. We really want to streamline the ability to get permits in the city. And this is just a start of what we want to try to accomplish. There's some things that we're going to introduce to council and try to move that forward to try to streamline you as a business. As you know, government doesn't always move at the pace that business does. So we want to help that go so the city can move faster and help develop this tax base. The next on the is the permit reports for 2015. Many of you want to know that. The residential values, we had 83 residential permits for $17,226,000. Had 19 commercial for $20,632,000. So that's a great thing for the city. And as you're aware, we had a little bit of a slow start at the first of the year because of all the rain. So some of those were actually down a little bit, but they caught back up some. So that's a good thing. Then the two new buildings that we're very proud of for the city are coming online for 2016. There's Fire Station number 2, and we're really proud of that. So we had a groundbreaking for that. Second on the item is the animal shelter. So the design for the animal shelter have been completed, and we hope to get that online for soon. Not only the animal shelter is much needed, we want the processes and the things that need to come forward with the animal shelter too. Just 2 weeks ago, or really a week ago, came to our attention that some animals were being put down. Sandra and I actually we hadn't adopted it, but we're taking it on as a foster.
She said foster. That doesn't apply forever, just foster.
Well, actually, that brings me back to one of the first chamber auctions we had. We bought Chip. Most of you in town know Chip. Our lab, 18 years, we just put down this year. And so we felt like we were a little bit free from animals, but now we're fostering one. And but I tell you, it's a great need and a great thing we're doing for the community. Public input and support, helping write the rules and regs, so are much needed. But let me move on. You know, they told me 15 minutes, and I normally only give people 3. So
You're good on that.
Next on the agenda is a comprehensive, the image Forney is about to be completed, the comprehensive plan for our city. If any of you have been participating in that, you know that's kind of been an ongoing future direction for development and redevelopment, for our community. And that's nearing its final stage, but we still want community input. And so if you haven't seen, I believe you can get on the city website and see the latest version of what we add on that. So still, any comments, we'd love to have that. Next is Public Works. Hey, can you believe this? A quiet zone for the city of Forney. Wow. You know, I remember working with Ron Patterson back in 2004 about the quiet zone. As you recall, I told you we had business on Broadway. And as you can imagine, we had to just, a lot of times, we had to stop and wait for the train, as we still do. So this is going to be a great thing to have this come to fruition for the city of Forney. You know, what's the saying, the light at the end of the tunnel? How about no horn at the tracks, right? We're ready for that. The next thing is the succession of, we have the success of a new mobile app, In the Loop. This is to help with citizens to access the community, the city staff on a much easier scale. To date, we have about 80 submissions from residents that allow to work things through the process and have connectivity with city staff other than just coming down and trying to get across the desk. So that is available on the App Store, and you can go, you can search Google or the App Store, In the Loop or Forney, Texas to find that app if you want to download it. Next on the item is the capital improvement projects. So, as I mentioned earlier, we had a lot of rain this year, and after the rain and the ice and the snow, we had a lot of potholes, as most of you are aware of. So we're able to address those. Not only that, but we repavement of Broad Street, which was much needed. As you recall, I told you we were on Broad Street, so that's a 20-year project. And
It's nice.
it's very nice. It's never been nicer, so
No.
we're proud of that. We had water tower improvements, and we had, as I mentioned, the potholes, and then we also restriping of Pinson Bridge, and then we had designation of turn lanes on 548. So again, much big applause to Public Works. They worked hard this year, cleaning streets and getting things prepped and getting some of these road improvements done. So it's a great thing. Next we'll go to the awards and recognition. This year we actually achieved 3 different awards. And the first one is the Leadership Circle Award. And it was award presentation to our finance department, and all 3 of these are basically to our finance department, which is really a high level that we wanted to achieve. And this one was a platinum level, presented by the Texas Controller Leadership Circle Award, launched in 2009. And the award aims at recognition of local governments across the state and strive to meet and set high standards for financial transparency. So we're real proud of that award. The city also was presented for the 7th consecutive year with a certificate of achievement for the Government Finance Officers Association of Texas. This prestigious award reflects the commitment of city staff to meet the highest principles in government budgeting. And third, but not last, earlier this month, the city was presented with a certificate of achievement of excellence in financial reporting to the Government Finance Officers Association. And this program was established to encourage and assist the state and local government to go above and beyond the minimum requirements in general accounting judgment. So all 3 of those are very awards. Now I want to focus on the future and what's up. The county funding construction for the new FM 460 ramps is underway, and they have approved the funding for that. We're coming into the final design plans, and I personally have talked with the county judge, and he has assured me that that is their top priority for the county to get those 460 entrance and exit ramps done. Amen. That's been a long time coming. Second, the advanced planning phase for FM 548 expansion north of US 80. This is a project also by the county and TxDOT, and this is the advanced planning for that. It'll take some years to get that done, but at least it's in advanced planning. I talked with Brian today, and it has been put on the line item on projects to be funded, so that's a critical part to make sure that this happens. So that's a great thing. Next is the construction of the Lower Bodart Creek Reservoir in Fannin County. This is with North Texas Municipal Water District. This is a long-range plan, but it's a much-needed plan. This is one of the first reservoirs to be built in the state of Texas in I don't know how many years. It's 20-something years. So it's showing that we're progressing forward, and with North Texas, you know, our water issues that we've had. So hopefully that's going to address that, and it's certainly going to help the city of Forney grow in years to come. And, the last one, how about this? We're going to complete the Gateway Bridge, okay, the boulevard. So no longer are we going to be addressed as the Bridge to Nowhere property, right? Had a great conversation with the Hunts, and they assured us that this is an ongoing project that's going to be completed in a 9-month time frame. So we're looking 2016 time frame. So the much needed traffic flow that we have from 1641 coming up to 548, where bottlenecks every morning and afternoon. Hopefully that, we're going to defer some of that traffic off to the boulevard, which incidentally will be a 4-lane thoroughfare through the town. And of course, as the development comes in that area, that will help relieve any additional traffic that we would have in that area. So, and I guess that's all I have right now. I can open it up for some questions if you want to ask them.
Question?
Yes, sir.
That's a 3-part question. First, what motivated you to get into politics? Second, what would you like your legacy as mayor to be? And thirdly, can we count on Classic Industries to be a sponsor of the golf course?
Just a brief one. Have 3 minutes. Motivated me to be in politics. I just believe that business leaders, business-minded people need to be involved in politics. And I guess if you're going to continue to stand up and ask for things to be changed, if you're not willing to stand up and be a part of it, then you don't really have that option. So I stood up and decided to be part of this, and look forward to great things happening in this community. I love this community. I'm invested in this community. I want to see great things happen here. And that's why I'm here. What was the name?
Legacy?
Legacy. I guess my legacy, and I talked about it in my campaign, is for Forney to be noted as a Christian community, somewhere that every family in the whole region wants to recognize to come raise their family here. And any way that I can help achieve and push that goal, would be my legacy. Forney's a great place, a lot of great churches, a lot of great community connectivity, but to enhance that and to be known, to be a Christian community, that's what I want. And yes, I'm going to sponsor the golf.